So now I'm going to take a little bit different tack, assuming that you remember everything that every single word that I've said up to this point. And we're going to go down a different path as we look into ourselves. So the problem is, what happens when you're a success and at the top of the ladder, when you find out that your ladder is on the wrong wall? You have to do some recalibrating. So we need to look at this. And a place that is somewhat uncomfortable for us, and certainly uncomfortable for the clients that come before us, is being in that liminal state. And just to help you folks, we'll put up here, liminal is a transitional or initial stage of a process. I like this part better. Occupying a position at or on both sides of a boundary, at a threshold. When people are going through divorce, they're at a threshold. I used to be a notary, and notaries in the state of Florida can do marriages. So I used to do a lot of marriages, but then I became a mediator, and so I thought, well, gee, I can help my mediation business. So when I would do the marriage, I'd give them a $20 off coupon for the divorce. Did not really go over well. I had to change my marketing, but eventually we worked things out. So our identities are a social construct. So it's not just you came out of the chute, you hatched, whatever, and now you're this person, and whatever the genes were, whatever, and that's who you are. There's a lot of things between birth date and today that have made you who you are. And that's why I say, after today, go home and go through your photo albums, go through the closets, go through and check some things about your life and look at how you were back in the hippie days and how you got to where you are here today. Because it's choices. It's choices that we have the power to make as humanity. Now, we might have come along this huge evolutionary trail from, some type of biological slime all the way up the evolutionary ladder until we got to be a human being. But we have the ability and the willpower to make choices if we so choose to do so. And that's a beautiful thing about being who we are. Now, I have a court administrator, some of you might know Nick Senzina, and he's allowed me to do these things and to use these examples. At every function, that we have the whole staff get together to celebrate something or to pass out awards for something, he always shows up as something different. Elvis, golfer, football, clown, pirate, Osama bin Laden. Oh wait, no, wise man. Not always sure with him. It's the same person. It's a constant. We all know that is Nick. But he has different facets and flavors, and this does fluctuate from day to day and from time to time and from year to year and stuff like that. Because we exercise and stretch, which is a good thing, the possibilities of who we strive to be. And when we look at the theory of possible selves, not really famous, I think, in the 1980s, although you could go back to William James, back in the 1800s, when he talked about us having different selves. When I came across this literature, I was relieved. Here I thought I had dissociative disorder. That's good. But no, it's the fact that we have different selves, that we have different capabilities. You're not the same person at work that you are at 5 o'clock with your friends after work. You're not the same person Sunday morning as you are Monday morning or whatever. You're not the same person with one group of people as you are with another group of people. That's an adaptability. And that's where, over time, we've learned that there's some constants to who we are, our credibility, our character, those types of things. But there are also aspects that we change. And the root part of the psychology of possible selves is that, and keep this in mind, about 90% of your brain's energy is spent keeping you with an identity of who you are. About 90% of the brain's activity is sitting there keeping you in a frame that this is who I am, this is who I am, this is who I am. It goes under the radar so you don't sense that. So, here it is. The theory, the core, is that we have the fear of the worst possible self, what you fear you might become. I fear I'll become like my mother, my father, some other negative aspect socially of myself. And then you have the higher aspirations of what you would strive to achieve or to attain. Okay, I want to be that ADR director, I want to be a good parent, I want to be a good husband or whatever. I want to be those things. So you are vacillating. And every morning when you wake up, your mind is trying to piece those things together. Who am I today? And here again, it's not this associative stuff. It's who am I today? Because I have a constant of who I am. I look in the mirror and I go, yeah, that's pretty much me. Well, I can't say that's constant because the other day I looked in the mirror. I took up swimming, and I think the chlorine grays your hair. Not to research that. But anyway, so we have all these possibilities. And we get into situations, and imagine the people who come to us, going through a divorce or whatever, where their identity has been tied to this other person and these other things. And now that's being pulled out from underneath them. How secure are they going to be as they try to work and deal with the events and the decisions that they now have to make? We are dealing with fragile people in those circumstances, those situations. So, here's the dashing young person in 1974, the assistant manager of KNXR Radio. White shoes, white belt, anyone remember those times? All right. 10 years later, here's this suave, highly debonair, high roller who's currently seated at the 25-cent blackjack table at the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas, contemplating his recent marriage to a former Miss Guayaquil, Ecuador. Look at that look of confidence. Same person, or is it? That's why I say go home and look at your elbows, because when you look at yourself in the mirror, you say, yes, I know this is me. Especially now as we start looking and we say, yes, there's a few lines that weren't there before, a few hairs that are a little bit grayer than they were before, and that's why I don't progress from here. So there is a constant feature to our personality. That's a stability thing, and that's good. That's a good thing. That's part of what that background program is doing. But we are not inhibited from seeking to change and do other things. We change careers. I think the experts say you change about 5 times in your life. I don't know how that applies out through here, but I went through hospitality, retail, education, all kinds of different things to get to where I am right now. Social work, all that kind of stuff. So you go through different types of things. Same person, but in each of those different roles, I was interfacing with others slightly differently. My possible self at that time was slightly different than what it is now. Okay? It doesn't mean anything was wrong. It just means that you have many possibilities, many facets, almost like a very fine gem. I like that. I should use that. A very fine gem.